welcome back to the Anime Iceberg. I'm Megan.
And I'm Meg.
And today we're talking about Dr. Stone, episode 75, Sickening Yet Beautiful.
Yeah, in this episode, Senku and his team have lost Stanley for now, but they aren't out of, or rather in, the woods just yet.
I actually like that one. That's funny. And this is manga chapters 179, Bonds on the High Wire, and 180, Sickening Yet Beautiful.
Yes, so the Kingdom of Science are building their ropeway in the Amazon to get across the mountains. Right away, we have like an instance of, well, this isn't humanly possible, but that's okay. Because Kohaku like jumps across the...
They have like this springboard thing for her, and she just
even
leaps
then,
across this chasm.
You couldn't do it.
And
but
I was thinking they probably showed it that way for the sake of time and just because it's Kohaku, so she's gonna do something awesome. But realistically speaking, Senku wouldn't let her do that. He's like, you're gonna fall to your death, girl. But we're just gonna say, if this was in real life, she'd have to find like a goat trail and scale the mountain some other way.
Or like she could maybe do that, and then she had like a thing.
Oh, like a grappling hook kind of thing?
Maybe you could get across that way, but just
I mean, I'm sure there's
jumping.
a way to do it, but yeah, this was just for the shonen effect.
Yes. It's I don't know, I'd say it's like the most unrealistic thing about the show. I mean,
the characters' abilities?
Yeah, the like freakishly strong and agile characters.
Yeah, because Tsukasa does something in this episode where I'm like, okay, ain't no way.
Yeah, it's like the one thing that science can't explain. The author's like, okay, I guess we have to have freakishly strong people to explain some of this stuff. Anyway, so she jumps across, and they throw her, or I guess Ukyo shoots her a string.
Yeah,
because they make
that scene. He like grabs her attention, is waving his arrow, and she immediately like puts up her shield, and he shoots the arrow into it. It was just they're all such good pals. They don't really need to talk to communicate. But it would be helpful to talk, so they do a string phone.
Yes, that's just what I was going to say. They're making a string phone so they can communicate with her and basically explain to her how to set up the ropeway on the other side.
It's pretty simple in
it's
practice.
very, very simple.
It's like a cable wire and some pulleys, and it's just like they already have machinery from the motorcycles to do the turning. So they don't have to manually crank it, and then they can just send the cart back down. So it kind of reminds me of I guess I was going to say ski lift, but it's more of an inner tube lift at the camp I used to go to in the winter. I think you've been there before too, but like... Yeah, like it... Yeah, how it worked was there's just like a tower, and it had the rope cable attached to the bottom, and it would just go up, and there were just little hooks on the wire to catch the tubes and carry you up. So really simple.
Yep. Yeah, so they set up the ropeway, but now they have a bit of a dilemma because there's like a max weight that they can do. And they basically, like with the way that it all works out, like they can't leave Zeno alone on one side, or like with somebody who can't fight back on one side, but they also can't send him across with someone that's weak. Not weak, but
weaker than him.
Yeah. Like they couldn't send him and Suika together. And basically they figure out with all their weights, which they got for their motorcycles, that they have to send Zeno and Hyoga across together, which is like one of the worst pairings, because as we've seen, Zeno, like every single chance he gets, he's like, join my Kingdom of Science. And Hyoga seems like the type of guy who would join him. But they have to take that risk. They don't really have a choice because they're kind of in a rush because Stanley is on his way in a plane. So they cross together without incident, and everyone else makes it across.
Well, the battle team is on one side, minus Kohaku.
Yeah.
But then Max, Carlos, and Suika are trying to cross, and a huge breeze kicks up, and Suika falls off. And luckily Kohaku's able to save her. But that means Kohaku, the only one on the battle team on the side with Hyoga and Zeno, is no longer able to fight because she's like, rescaling the mountain with Suika in her arms. So it's this moment of tension when we're like, if Hyoga's gonna betray us, now's the time.
Yep. And he reaches out his hand to her, and she's like, oh, it's dead. Over. But he helps her out.
In a really gentlemanly
it's
way.
Very...
It's just surprising.
Yeah, it's surprising and kind of sweet. I don't know, in the moment, you're just like, okay, I guess he's on our side. But, like, later on, this moment is very important. Like, it's when he kind of officially has joined the team. Now I think that the battle team is united, I guess.
It's weird because he still doesn't agree with everyone. And if Senku says something he doesn't like, he'll be the first one to be like, oh, well, I'm out of here. But at the same time, he's not going to betray them just for the sake of betraying them. Like, I think at this point, all the things he's gotten to do with the Kingdom of Science have led him to believe, like, well, this is where I belong right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I have no doubt that given the chance, like the right opportunity, he would be like, I'm out of here. But
I'm not sure he would take anyone down on his way out.
No, I don't think he necessarily
he would
kill
leave
any
them,
of them,
but he wouldn't betray them, is how I feel right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder, like, because technically they still, when he originally got turned to stone, or they captured him, they were kind of like, okay, when the society's up and running again, he's gonna have to pay for his justice. For his crimes. So I wonder.
Well, I feel at this point that Tsukusa's okay. He didn't die.
Oh, remember he like murdered those guys?
Oh wait, there were 3 dudes.
Yeah, he murdered.
Never mind. Yeah, he needs to go to jail. I'm sorry, Hyoga. You sacrificed them. Like, technically, you didn't kill them. The poisonous gas did, but you were like, let's see if they die. Wham.
Yeah. So
murder's not okay. Also, he stabbed Tsukusa with the intent of killing him, even if he didn't die. And he had also stabbed Ukyo previously, so unforgivable.
Nah, we can forgive him for that one. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see when... I mean, I guess it just depends on what happens at the end of the series, but...
Yeah.
Will Senku achieve his goal of reviving everyone? Yeah, so anyway, they've made it. They made it to the Amazon, and they beat Stanley there, but he has not given up yet, because he's like, he sees their tire tracks, and like, it's like, okay, he's like, I know where they're going, but really he knows where they entered the forest. It's huge. Like, that.
Well, I'm reading ahead in the manga to prepare for future episodes, so I think I know why he was like, this is the path they're taking.
Yeah.
We'll see that later.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I know, because they don't... Anyway, I don't want to say anything else, so... Anyway, yeah, so they're... Sorry.
We're having a rough night tonight, folks. You can't see because it's a podcast, but Meg's just been through the ringer. She's got a huge bandage wrapped around her thumb.
Yeah, I cut myself pretty bad. with a serrated bread knife. Those things are sharp, I guess, people.
I was just in my room and I hear, can you get a Band-Aid? and I come and I'm like, huh? And I just look and there's just red running down the sink and I'm like, holy smokes, what did you do?
It's fine. But yeah, our first aid supplies. We have a lot of first aid supplies, but not what we needed. So I have a giant bandage for a very small cut. I would not make it in the world. I'd cut myself and then die of a wound. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, this is when we find out that they are heading to Brazil. That's where the petrification started. Which honestly, from like the very first episode, you can kind of see that's where it began.
Yeah.
They're gonna go through the Amazon to do that, and of course, as we know, the Amazon is very dangerous. But Senku has a plan. He makes them rubber boots, because I'm sure they had
probably extra.
Also, okay, wait. We gotta pause for a second because they are biking through the Amazon, and that is another thing where I'm like, I don't think that would be possible because there's
so much foliage.
Yeah, there's so much, and there's also like there's no human intervention.
Yeah, there's no pathways.
Yeah, there's no pathways. I'm sure that, well, I don't know. Does Amazon get, like we get like forest fires?
Oh.
And that kind of like clears everything.
Huh.
I don't know.
I've never think so, like
I've never heard of,
but lightning strikes, you never know.
I don't know. I've never heard of it, so I don't know.
Or there could be a patch where there's just been enough animal traffic that it's, pat down the earth.
Yeah, but even then I just can't imagine that biking through the Amazon is actually
especially
feasible.
With all the water, like it's so damp and stuff that I would think the tires would sink or they'd hit a particularly big stick and pop or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Senku makes them rubber boots so that they can have some protection from all the different animals and insects and all that. And then we see there's also giant animals. There's a huge snake that Tsukasa kills, and I don't know, I just really appreciated, like, afterwards Francois cooks it up for them, and Tsukasa just looks so happy.
Yeah,
it's eating.
It's even cuter in the manga because there's one panel where he's taking a big bite, and the next panel his cheeks are just popped out to the side. But also in the manga, Ryusui, Chrome, and Suika have little music notes over their heads because they're excited to eat the snake, and Luna and Hyoga just look skeptical.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never...
I hear snake tastes good, but I don't think I would try it,
Really? I would try it, but I don't know that it would be good. Anyway, yeah. And then they also make some bug repellent by mixing army ants with alcohol and basically put it all over themselves. Army ants apparently are the most dangerous animal of the Amazon, so
that
it's
makes
basically
sense. They can pick an animal clean if they congregate on it.
And so they put it all over themselves and basically repel.
Yeah, animals.
Not just
animals. Come near them.
Yeah.
This is a funny scene in the manga. Luna is a bug hater, and she pixels out the ants in her head, so it's like a swarm, and it's just all pixelated, and she's shrieking. They kind of do that in the anime, but it's blink and miss it. And then also in the manga, when they make the ant extract, Chrome and Ukyo go, "No, please no." But then they start applying it to their skin, and Chrome says, "I was sure we were gonna drink it." And Ukyo replies, "I definitely prefer this way."
Yeah, so they're making their way, and they make it to the Amazon River, and they make rafts, and it looks fun, but probably not the safest. And then we get kind of like a little, I guess, it's basically like time passing, because we see Joel working, and Stan, I think we see Stanley trying to, doing his thing.
Everyone working and traveling, and and we see Niki's got a calendar, and it says January, so Senku has officially turned 20 years old.
Whoa. Yeah, and then we find out it's been 4 months since they've left Japan. Which honestly,
that's not a lot,
right? That's what I was gonna say. It's not really that long.
Because I mean, the stuff that happened in America seems like it took forever, but that was probably only a couple of weeks, and then they moved on from there right away. Yeah, and they finally have reached their destination. And at first, Suika's like, "Oh, I be on the lookout." And Suika's like, "I found one. Wow, that was so easy." And then they look up, and there's thousands, honestly, maybe millions of Medusas. Just honestly, it looks kind of like a pyramid. Yeah. That's where the episode ends. Yes. So we got manga notes. We started volume 21. But I can't read the author and artist notes yet because there's a reference to something that comes later. And then something else. I will briefly mention it because it was in the anime and they had a cute little segment for it. But in the manga, they also have that little brain teaser, the river crossing brain teaser, which I remember from elementary school. So do I. Yeah. But it was really cute how they covered it in the anime too. Ukyo had mentioned it when they were doing the river the ropeway, and he was like, "This is like the river crossing brain teaser." And after the end credits, it's so cute because he and Suika do like a river crossing puzzle. Let's solve it, and it's so sweet because he's kind of being like teacher, and then Suika's the student. So very, very adorable. And then tracking. One that's bad from Chrome and one that's so bad.
Yeah, and Senku did say get excited one time.
Yeah. And a little something extra, we forgot to note it in the previous episode, but Joel's character design is actually so cool, and we gotta talk about it, because he's basically designed to look like a clock. So if you notice, he has like those two little sprigs of hair on his head that form a 12, and then one sleeve has a 3, and his apron has a 6, and the other sleeve has a 9, and then his necktie is like the hands of a clock, and it has like the little tick marks on the scarf. So it's just, I don't know, it's just really clever, kind of subtle, I guess, in some ways, because the numbers don't really look exactly like numbers, just like cool little designs. But I don't know, it's a nice little touch, and it's very nice to have, because he doesn't have like the facial scars, or like like Senku and the others have marks on their faces and stuff. So this is how he stands out.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool little detail, and I was like, was that Yuzuriha that made that for him? It had to have been, right?
Right, yeah.
Like, oh, you like clocks, so I'm gonna make
and his boss, when she was revived, she had the hands of a clock on her forehead. That's what her scars looked like. So
that's funny. Yes, so we probably mentioned this like a few months ago, but we were watching Anne Shirley, the anime. We accidentally finished it, like we caught up to the dub, so we had to wait. But we finally finished it. And if you don't know Anne Shirley, Anne of Green Gables,
yeah,
it was very cute, and I really enjoyed it.
I think they did justice to the story.
Yeah, I think they did justice to the story. Like they got her personality right. I think that's always like a really important piece.
It was very wholesome, and they didn't shy away from the topics that make Anne of Green Gables what it is. Like, she's going through life. She has to deal with life and death and love and loss and all the things in between. And I don't know, I especially like the ending, because it was just her saying like, "Father in heaven, thank you for this wonderful life." And I'm like, oh, it's just coming full circle, because she was so excited when she first arrived at Green Gables. And when it ends, you can tell that her life's going to take her away from Green Gables, but that she's thankful for her growing up years and all her experiences.
Yeah, and they got all like they got all the classic moments, like her breaking the chalkboard over the head, and
her when she broke her leg.
Yep, and then
almost drowning.
Yep. Like they got all those moments. At least from what I remember of the books, it's been like, I think it's actually been like 10 years since I've read them. So more than that, it's been a long time. Like it seems it's like pretty accurate. I mean, obviously they couldn't cover everything. Like I think they covered like, I don't know, like 4 of the books. Like so that was a lot. They had just like picked, key moments. But yeah, it was good. If you like Anne of Green Gables, I would definitely recommend this version of it. And if you don't like Anne of Green Gables, or haven't seen it, I guess,
if you haven't experienced it, this would be a good way to first
if you like just like a chill, feel good anime, like check it out.
Honestly, I would recommend this to any English teachers out there, because sometimes I know growing up, sometimes my English teachers, if we would read a book, they'd try to see if there was a movie version of it or a show version, so that we could be engaged in multiple ways within the story. I think this would be awesome. Like, you can pick and choose certain episodes. I would definitely say the one where she breaks the chalkboard over Gil's head would be great. But, like, it's entertaining and, most importantly, appropriate for schools. And so I think it's, I don't know, it would just be a useful tool for education.
So that's our mini review of a classic story, but told in a new medium, I guess. Okay, that's all we've got for this episode. So, Megan, what was your favorite line?
Mine came from Chelsea when Gen was explaining their little family tree, you could say. That's
That's crappy. You people have a super freaky definition of friendship, you know.
And yeah. I think you pointed out, Meg, that she was getting back at Gen for what he said about her.
Basically Gen said like the exact same thing to her in a past episode, and I'm pretty sure I think I used that as
that
my
was your
line.
favorite, yes.
Yeah.
What was your favorite line?
I don't know if I would call it my favorite line, but
most impactful line.
Yes, it came from Kohaku. It was the last line of the episode after they've seen the pile of Medusas when she says, "It's sickening, yet beautiful and full of malice." Mm-hmm. And what do we learn?
Brain teasers aren't useless.
Yeah, they have real life applications if you're trying to cross the Andes Mountains on a ropeway.
Wow.
With some enemies.
Only very specific applications.
No, their brain teasers are good for you. And then who pushed the story forward?
Hyoga, for being slightly more trustworthy.
Yes. That's all we've got for this episode, and we will be back next week with another episode. We're starting to get into like
this is the good stuff.
The good stuff. So, yeah. I mean, honestly, this whole season so far has been good, but
we're gonna have a lot more stories of this is what our reaction was when we first watched it, and just the memories are cemented in our brains because it's like, where were you when this happened?
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.